That's fine, Fran. And look, this is what society should be as a whole. We should be allowed to have opposing arguments, and we should be allowed to have a difference of opinion without the threat of hate speech becoming a law. You know, because I don't hate anyone, Fran. But the reality of it is, if you speak to anyone on the ground above in Roscrea, which has dealt with this problem for many, many months, women and children cannot really walk the streets of Roscrea anymore because the amount of immigration that they've taken in the village. It is creating fear in all communities, and it is not fair on the communities that have always been here and have never had the money spent on them. So how have they the right to have all this money now for people who aren't from here when they never had it for the people who have always been here?
But Shane, we've just heard from Councillor Michael Smith there, and it appears, certainly if we judge it by the incredible vote that he got, that there's a silent majority of people who are quite happy to embrace people into their communities.
Yes, we are quite happy to embrace people into our communities, but it was barely 50% of the voting, the electorate turned up. Also, there's a vast majority of Irish people who've never even bothered registered to vote because they don't believe in the system as is. Now, I'll just come up with an analogy there. If there was an offer for me to move to Spain and get wait one second now. If there was an offer for me to move to Spain to a 4-star hotel, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, yeah.
Sorry, I was just getting some reverb there or something.
Yeah.
If there was an offer for me to move to Spain or Greece or Italy and get a 4-star hotel, have my bills paid for me and the offer of work on the condition that I voted for the parties that facilitated it, I would take that offer instantly. Now, if you can't see that is slightly... I can't say that it's rigging the vote, but it's definitely encouraging the vote. Now, if we go back to the register for the couple of weeks leading up to the vote and look at all the new visitors who were registered to vote in the locals, which they're legally allowed to do, and you're telling me that they didn't have a massive influence on the actual end result?
Yeah, I just don't understand the turnout, to be honest with you, because, I mean, I'm doing this for a long time, Shane, and I have not ever seen anything like the frustration, annoyance, discontent from people. So I thought there was going to be a huge turnout.
So did I. And look, I sat in front of my own polling station for 3.5, 4 hours during the day. And it was only the very old folk from around, some farmers, and mainly all our new visitors who showed up to vote. And I can't say it's illegal. And look, I do have a problem with it myself. Maybe there should be a 2-year limit. When you're here after 2 years, you can then have a say in the local elections. But there was people that came here a month ago that were registered to vote. We had 600 people in a day registered down in Clark.
But that legislation, in fairness, is on our books for, what is it now, about 20 years or so, you know? That's not new.
Maybe it has been there for 20 years, but we didn't have the same migration problem 20 years ago. Slow and steady migration was never a problem in Ireland. It was fair. We needed workers. There was people coming here. Look, I've spoken to lots of Indian families and Eastern Europeans and all that came here to live the Irish way of life. And even they're saying what is going on now is worrying for their children's safety. Because when you put strange people from different backgrounds and cultures into small rural villages and towns that don't have any amenities, and they don't have work to go to, and they don't have anything to do, this is why mainly most of these villages were dying. It is a recipe for disaster, Frank.